Hello and welcome to My Mechanics Insights. In this video I'm going to show you how I made this knurling tool in detail. I bought these two knurling wheels online. Unfortunately they didn't sell the correct holder for them. I make a new one. It's always a good idea to make a sketch with all the measurements of the parts you want to make before you start making it. So I made this drawing. With the drawing, I know the final dimensions of the finished part. I went to my friend and asked if he has a good material for the tool holder. He gave me this piece of heat treatable steel. It's much bigger now than it needs to be. I just need to make a few more cuts. But I'm just happy to get started. First, I want to turn it to its final length on the lathe. I turn the first side clean. Turn the second side clean, and now I can measure its length. It's 141 millimeters long. I need to take off 21 millimeters more. Clamp the part again and carefully touch the part with the tool as reference, and now I can take off the remaining 21 millimeters. Okay, so far so good. Now we can switch over to the milling machine. I start to mill one side flat, that it's at least 26 millimeters wide. I want to point out that this milling tool is a bit too big for this small machine. That's why the surface is not looking very good. It also needs more feed, but I'm already on maximum. One side done. Now I mill down the second side that the edges of both surfaces hit each other. Now I'm going to mill down the first surface. I stop before the last cut, remove the sharp edge, measure the part and take off the remaining material. The part is now 25 millimeters wide. I need to mill down the fourth surface to 20 millimeters. I repeat the same steps from the third surface. Mill it roughly down, measure the part and take off the rest. Now the part has its final outside dimensions, 20 by 25 by 120. I'm going to remove all sharp edges first before I continue milling. Now I'm going to mill away this step 5 by 95. I'm always putting oil on the surface before each cut, for lubrication and cooling. Next, I'm going to mill the big chamfer 8 by 45 degrees. I also decided to make a 2 by 45 degrees on the upper side. For this job, I can turn my milling head for 45 degrees. Both of these chamfers have no function, they're just for aesthetics. Now I clamp the part in high to mill the slot for the knurling wheel. I'm using an uncoated 5mm carbide end mill. Because the clamp is not very solid and the slot also needs to be 5mm wide, I'm going to mill this one very slowly. I need to pay attention that I don't scratch the surface of the slot with the tip of the file while removing the sharp edges. The slot is looking very nice and the knurling wheel fits in perfectly. Now I'm going to make the reamed hole for the pin where the knurling wheel sits on. With this device, I don't know its English name, I can touch the part and bring the center of the spindle directly on the edge of it. This way my hole will be exactly where it needs to be. This drill has a 90-degree angle. It's as a guide for the drill. It has the same effect like a center punch. Now I drill the hole to 7.8 millimeters. And with this reaming tool I make the hole to exactly 8.01 millimeters. Next I'm going to make this M5 thread to clamp the pin. I'm using this tool again to touch the surface to get the exact position. I'm going as deep with this tool so the thread will already be countersinked before even cutting it. Now I drill the core hole of the thread to 4.2 millimeters and cut the thread by hand on the bench vise. I couldn't countersink the reamed hole like the thread before, because the tool and the hole are both 8 millimeters in diameter. That's why I'm going to do it by hand now. With this hand tool I can remove the sharp edges of the hole inside the slot. To remove these burrs from the thread in the reamed hole, I'm going to use the reaming tool by hand and cut the thread again after it. I did repeat this process one more time to be sure all burrs are gone. At this point, all the machining is done on this part. This is a hardened and surface grinded pin. It's a tiny bit too big for the knurling wheel, but a bit of sanding on the lathe will get the job done. The diameter fits now perfectly, but it's still too long. I'm going to use the grinding wheel from the bench grinder to shorten it. I could also turn it on the lathe with a carbide tool. I'm also grinding a flat surface on it to clamp the pin. Now I have all the parts ready, but before the heat treatment, I'm going to assemble everything to see if it all fits. Okay, it looks perfect, ready for hardening. I'm going to heat the part up slowly to around 800 degrees Celsius. Hold the temperature for a bit and then quench it in oil. After hardening I need to temper it to take away the stress from the quench. The part is now very hard and the quench in oil turned it black. But because of the high temperature it starts to peel off. I use Scotch Brite to get rid of the black surface. That's good enough to turn it black again with the blue in liquid. I'm using Super Blue by Birchwood Casey. I apply it on the degreased part with a very soft go-tear brush. The part will turn black immediately. After that I rinse it with cold water and cover the parts with oil for 12 hours to make it stick. And that's it. The part is now completely finished. Time to assemble everything and test it on the lathe. I fixed it in the tool holder and now you can see why I made this 5 by 95 mm step on the bottom. I made it that the tool can't get pushed back from the cutting force. I prepare this press part for knurling. First I'm going to touch the surface with the knurling wheel as a reference. Put a lot of oil on the part and the wheel for lubrication and start making the knurling. I clamped the knurling tool 91 degrees to the part. Means that only the right edge of the knurling wheel makes the final cut. This makes a nicer finish and put less force on the tool. The pattern doesn't look good yet. I need to go deeper. I can repeat this step as many times as needed until the knurling looks good. After the knurling I need to chamfer again and that's it. The knurling doesn't cut the material, it deforms it. The diameter of the part will be bigger after the knurling than before. You can also go over the knurling with a wire brush, Scotch Brite, or even polish it to make it look nicer. I made this knurling tool because I needed it for the combination lock video on the main channel. And here's that clip. I'll put a link to that video in the description. And that was it for this video. I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching.